where we are moving is people, before the pandemic, used to talk about omnichannel. Now they're talking about omnipresent, right? So what does that mean? That means today, if I'm communicating with a customer on WhatsApp or any other channel, right? How do I take that conversation, make it live across my other channels, right? For example, phygital or digital, right? It could be a footfall at a bank, like, for example, SBI, right? How do I translate that conversation back into a phygital conversation? Because if you want to continue the conversation again, right, the customer experience should not drop. It should be a warm handover, as we call it, right? That could be across even IVR, it could be across a call center, right? So two main technology trends emerge. One is, how do you do the communication, contacting and providing, right, information? So if you just look at purely the urban tier 1 and potentially even the tier 2 market now, thanks to WhatsApp, right? I think one of the web and app interfaces, you have conversational AI, which is playing a huge role. If you look at the number of low-code players out there in the market and the tech giants investing in natural language processing algorithms, right, it's become massive, right? Because that'll really help you gratify customers instantaneously. You can do transactions, you can do financial transactions, which is linked with different payment gateways, right? You can also raise queries and tickets even on citizen service governed portals, right? That's very important. And how does that actually translate into a physical form? Now, IVR is getting replaced by voice bots, right? And voice bots which are vernacular, which is the most complicated use case in India to solve. As Mr. Srinivas was saying, like having a Hindi website and a Tamil website, it's not easy as translation, right? You need good vernacular skills and technology to understand that, right? So that's getting translated into CCAI solutions. If you look at all the big players out there in the market, right, they are focusing on how do you replace your standard, static IVRs with really modern way of cognitive voice bots. So if you say hello loudly, it'll understand your tone, right, if you're already a registered customer, and it'll react to you in a very different way, right? So that is obviously the art of possible, right? You do still have static IVRs. It'll take us a while to get to a cognitive way of working, but then that can really transform the experience. And if a person's having a conversation on WhatsApp and continues back on a call center, right, it's not going to start from ground zero in terms of name and identity verification, right? So this whole contact center AI and conversational AI is a huge space now for urban tier 1 and tier 2 markets, right? The next thing, if you look at when you're talking about even physical stores, right, I think obviously the whole world is moving towards cloud, right? The various cloud, different technologies. But I think cloud coupled with blockchain, right, is going to be, I would say, the silver bullet for most of the physical interactions which are happening. And why is that? Is because it gives you user control for customers and for the organization and for the vendors. It gives you identity authentication, like Aadhaar and PAN. And if you look at, there are so many startups out there. Like today's biggest use case in FinTech is lending. Right? There are so many articles out there and why they're shutting down a lot of apps.
No wonder RBI took a note of it.
Yes, lending is huge because lending in, as Arzan was saying, if you want to go down to the panchayatis, right? There, lending is like in 1,000 rupees, right? That's lending. But how do you get to those places, right? Through these apps. But then you need to regulate that. You can just give your PAN number and you can get onboarded, right? You can talk to a voice bot and then it fills your form automatically. You don't need educated people, right? So blockchain is going to really transform that as well, right? And I feel this is not a technology, but I think the most thing overarching all this is someone like Zerodha who's doing it really well. It's called financial literacy, right? Today, I think financial literacy, I was reading somewhere, don't want to quote the name here, but I think it's about less than 25% across adult male and females, right? That means when you're going to invest in a platform, on a platform which gives you access to many assets, right? People don't know what it means. Like when we were talking about NAV, right? Or you're talking about returns, or you're talking about how do you calculate an ROI for a mutual fund. People don't understand that, right? They just see ads and they invest 1,000 rupees every month, right? That financial literacy, as long as it goes up, technology adoption also will go up because AI, machine learning alone will not be able to solve the future. Right? So that's how I kind of would categorize that.